Greetings, Ingress agents, and welcome. This is Agent Viticon here to talk about what some are calling the hardest challenge ever. The Shared Memories global operation has started. It started on July 12th and it runs through August 5th. In this event, agents are asked to make links or destroy links with bonus points for participating in Linkstars. The tiers for this badge are quite high, requiring agents to earn 2,000 points for bronze or 10,000 points for silver. So in this video, I'm going to go through a breakdown of what it takes to get the badge, how I got the badge already, and what you can do to make sure that you also get the badge. But first, I wanted to go back to XO5 Controller, because if you're going to call this the hardest badge ever, you have to compare it to what was previously considered the hardest badge ever. In 2017, from October 2nd to October 16th, agents were asked to make fields for one of the original event badges. The lowest tier of the badge, which appears silver but was coded as bronze, could be earned with 100 fields over this 2-week span. The higher tiers could be earned with 500 and 2,000 fields, respectively. So for this badge, you need 2,000 points, or 10,000 points for the highest badge. What does that correspond to? You get points by creating links or by destroying links. 3 points for creating a link, 1 point for destroying a link. So what does that mean? For bronze, you have to make 667 links or destroy 2,000 links or some combination of those two. And for silver, you have to make 3,334 links or destroy 10,000 links. If you look at it over the span of this event, you would need to make 26 links per day to be on target for bronze or 133 links per day to be on target for silver. Compare that with XO5, the lowest tier was clearly a lot easier. You needed to make 7 fields per day to get the lowest tier. But the highest tier, you had to make 142 fields per day. That's a pretty hefty order, I would say, especially taking into account the fact that back then there was no such thing as a very rare battle beacon. There were a lot fewer portals in general. There really wasn't as much opportunity to make fields. Getting 142 fields a day was, I would say, probably harder than making 133 links a day today in 2024. Now, the key thing about this event is the Linkstar bonus. You can get up to 35,000 points, actually 35,080 points, in bonuses if you participate in Linkstars. So let's talk about that a little bit. The Linkstar bonus starts to kick in when a single portal has 400 links into it. At that point, any current link creator on the portal is eligible to potentially get 20 points. That means one link will be randomly selected, and the person who created that link will get 20 points. As you continue adding links for every link you add, another 20 points is awarded to another link creator, and so on and so forth, until you get to 500, at which point that link bonus increases to 30. And then 501, you get another 30 points, and 502, you get another 30 points, and so on. Then when you get to 600 links, you get 40 points randomly awarded to a link creator. And then 50 and 60 and 70 and finally 80 for those last 100 links. Once the Linkstar reaches 1,100 links, there are no further bonus points awarded. Any additional links would get only the 3 points for creating them and no bonus points at all. So what does that really correspond to? Or what do you need to do to really... So what do you get for those bonuses? If you have a single agent, they would, doing a Linkstar all by themselves, they would get the highest tier of this badge at some point before they hit 700 links. In fact, I think it's about 680 links when they get the badge, if they could do a solo Linkstar of 680 links. If you have 2 agents participating, you'll get there before you get to the 900 tier. If you have 3 agents, you'll get there right as you get to 1,000. And 4 agents wouldn't quite get there with an 1,100 link star, but would be pretty darn close, and probably could get it on their own afterwards. As you add more and more agents, a single link star won't cut it, but you're still getting a lot of points and a good jump along the way. If you think about ways to do multiple link stars, using maybe portals that are near each other as the hubs, and flipping down one and then starting another one, you can imagine that many more agents could earn that link star bonus pretty fast. It's also worth thinking about this in terms of points per key farmed. Until you hit 400 links, the points per key farmed is 3. That's just the same as if you were doing individual links, microfielding, just derping, whatever. It's 3 points per key farmed. But as you start to be able to build these big Linkstars, you can get much larger points per key farmed. At 500 links, you get 7 points per key farmed. At 600 links, you get 11 points per key farmed, and so on and so forth. The impact of a single key is 35 points per key farmed if you max out that Linkstar bonus. So, should you make a Linkstar? That's going to depend on your local conditions. How many portals do you have in your area that are available for linking? If you can't start to hit those bonuses, then it's not going to be worth it. If you can get at least 600 portals that can be linked into that Linkstar, then maybe it's worth considering. How much clearing do you have to do to get to that point? Are you going to have to use a lot of flip cards to clear, or a lot of really expensive gear to clear, or do you have a fairly soft area from which you can link? Are the opposition likely to take out your hub before you're done? Do you have a lot of opposition in your area? If you don't have a lot of opposition, maybe you can take more time to build it. If you do have a lot of opposition, you may need to think about how you can get that Linkstar built very quickly, so you may need to have more people participating, or you may just decide that a Linkstar isn't for you at all. Okay, so I'm not doing a Linkstar. What else can I do? You can microfield. If you have a portal-dense area, maybe with opposition who are likely to take it out so that you can reuse that same area over and over again. If you have other agents in your area that are working on a Linkstar, maybe you don't want to do this because it will interfere. Well, if they're on your team, if they're on the opposition team, maybe you don't care about interfering so much. But microfielding certainly could be an option. What about an AP engine? We talked about AP engines a lot during the last event. AP engines are often a really good way to get AP and fields very quickly. You find a spine of portals. You have an area with a lot of different portals you can throw from. You throw your spine, you flip it, you throw from another place, you flip it, you throw from another place. This can be very easy to gather keys quickly, very easy to make lots of fields quickly, easy to make lots of AP quickly. In this event, it's not necessarily the most efficient way to make links. You're making up to 24 links if you use 2 SoftBanks, and that's great. And that's 72 points for every time you flip it. This isn't terrible. It certainly is a way to make links, but it doesn't really have that big multiplier effect that you might have had in some previous events. How long will it take? So I did all 3 ways. My first 9,000 points I made primarily through a Linkstar. Getting to the Linkstar, it took, you got about 35 keys per visit with 2 very rare multi-hacks. If you used a fracker, you can get about double that. And so, you have to wait 4 hours in between these sessions generally. So it takes a while to build up those keys. Once you have those keys, I found that agents could throw somewhere between 50 to 100 links per hour. That depended a little bit on whether the portals were already built, how much clearing had to be done, how much portal density there was. But if you figure kind of an average city kind of area, you can probably get 50 to 100 links per hour once you get going on the event. So your total time to completion, it's going to depend on how many agents are participating and whether or not you can get a success out of that large star. But we saw some people in Hong Kong do it, where a large number of agents got the silver badge within a few hours of the event starting. So it could be very fast, or it could be not as fast, and it really just depends on what kind of participation and what kind of cooperation you have. So what if you microfield? So my last 1,000 points here, I did primarily through microfielding. The nice thing about this is there's no pre-farming. You just farm as you go. You don't have to use any VR gear. You just find an area that has a lot of portals. You wander around it. You build out a portal. You hack the portal. You're getting your resonators back as you go. You're getting your keys back as you go. It can get a little tedious, but you can get about 200 links in an hour in a dense area. So 200 links in an hour, and that's relatively repeatable as long as you have dense areas or you have opposition who are interrupting you. It's also nice because if opposition interrupts you in the middle of it, yeah, you might have lost a little bit of efficiency, but it's not the same as if they take down your Linkstar target in the middle. So it's a lot less prone to frustration. But you get 200 links an hour, that's 600 points per hour. So I estimate that it takes probably about 3 hours to get bronze this way, 3 hours of pretty intense microfielding play that you may not be able to do all at once, but it is out there as an option. 16 hours of pretty intense play for silver. Now you have 4 weeks to do this event, so maybe that's 4 weekends at least to do this event. So 4 hours per weekend. That's a lot, but it's not an impossible task. Finally, what if we do AP Engine? Well, it depends on what your spine looks like, what your hack mods look like. I found that the best case with overclocking, you can get about 250 keys per hour of farming. Then as you throw, if you have double very rare battle beacons, you can reasonably get almost about 1,000 links per hour. So here, your total time to completion, not that different from microfielding. On the other hand, you've also used a lot of very rare gear, and you've used some premium gear that you've had to pay for, like those very rare battle beacons. So it's an option. Certainly you do get a lot of AP, a lot of fields. There are a lot of benefits to doing it. But you're not getting a better impact than you are with microfielding. So just keep that in mind. So, like I said, I got it. I got it within a week, and I did about the first 9,000 points by doing some Linkstars. That was a lot of fun to get some of my agents in my area together to build some Linkstars. And then to finish it up, doing some microfielding, and then ultimately I literally did 2 throws of the AP engine just to get myself over the top, because it was getting late and I was tired. So it's doable. I've gotten it. I'd love to hear your stories if you've gotten it, if you're working on it, how you're working on it, what you think you're going to do. So some closing thoughts. I think this is a great event. It is hard, but you have a lot more time left to do it. And pretty soon there's going to be another event starting where you'll get double AP and some other bonuses. So, get out there, get this badge. I think it's a lot of fun. Until next time, I'm Agent Vidicon for NotNiantic Labs.